This is ChainMind, the decentralized AI network built for everyone. Just search ChainMind on Google, sign up, download the app, and you're in. That's it. You've joined the network. Run it on any device, phone, laptop, or server. Why ChainMind? Fully decentralized, fully yours.
Imagine you're out on a solo hike, the trail gets slick, you tumble, and everything goes dark. A stranger finds you, pulls out their phone, and with a single tap sees your blood type, allergies, and the phone number of the person you love most. In those frantic seconds, that tiny screen can become the difference between a rushed ambulance and a missed heartbeat. It takes less than 5 minutes to set up, but the impact can last a lifetime. Today we'll walk through exactly why every iPhone owner should lock in Emergency SOS, emergency contacts, and a full-featured medical ID, and then we'll dive into how ChainMind's decentralized AI can give you that same life-saving speed while keeping every byte of your health data locked tight in your own pocket. First, let's talk about why Apple's built-in emergency suite matters more than you might think. When you turn on Emergency SOS, your phone becomes a bridge between your personal health information and the first responders who need it. It's not just a phone call, it's a bundle of data that includes your GPS coordinates at the moment of the call, heart rate trends from an Apple Watch, and any medical conditions you've entered into the health app. In a world where almost every passerby carries a smartphone, the odds that someone can read that data are high, and the odds that a paper medical bracelet will survive a tumble are low. By populating your medical ID, you essentially give a digital first aid kit that anyone can access from the lock screen, without needing a passcode. The system is designed to be fast, intuitive, and, crucially, available even when you can't speak. That's why the feature exists, but it also raises a question that many users overlook. Who else can see that information, and how is it stored? Let's walk through the actual setup so you can get it right the first time. Open Settings and scroll to Emergency SOS. Here you'll see two main toggles. One that lets you call emergency services by pressing the side button 5 times, and another that automatically dials after a brief countdown. If you prefer a safety net, turn on autocall so the phone places the call without waiting for you to confirm. Below that, you'll find Send SOS Messages. Tap that and choose the contacts you want to receive a text with a live Apple Maps link the moment the SOS is triggered. Those contacts live inside the Health app, not in your regular address book, which adds a layer of privacy because they're only used for emergency alerts. Now, let's add the people you trust. Open the Health app, tap the profile picture in the top right, and select Medical ID. Scroll down to Emergency Contacts, hit Edit, then the plus sign to pull a name from your address book. You'll be asked to specify the relationship, spouse, parent, friend, so responders know who to call for you. You can add as many as you like, but 2 or 3 solid contacts is a good baseline. When SOS fires, each contact gets a pre-written message that says something like, "I'm in an emergency, my location is," along with a link to Apple Maps. No health details are sent unless you've also filled out the medical ID, which we'll get to next. Creating a comprehensive medical ID is essentially turning your phone into a digital medical alert bracelet, only far more informative. In the Health app, tap Medical ID again and hit Edit. You'll see fields for blood type, known allergies, chronic conditions, current medications, and even organ donor status. You can also attach recent health records, like a surgery you had last month, or note an implanted pacemaker. All of this is optional, but the more accurate the data, the better the care you'll receive if you can't speak for yourself. Most importantly, toggle Show when locked so that anyone who picks up your phone can pull up this information straight from the emergency screen without needing a passcode. It's a simple switch that turns a locked phone into a lifesaver. Now that you've got the basics down, let's talk privacy. Apple's ecosystem is built around user control, but that doesn't mean you can sit back and assume everything is automatically protected. First, limit the details you enter to what's truly needed in an emergency. If you have a mental health diagnosis that isn't relevant to immediate care, you might leave it out. Second, review your emergency contacts regularly. People change phone numbers, relationships shift, and outdated contacts could mean an SOS message goes nowhere. Third, enable two-factor authentication on your Apple ID to prevent anyone from sneaking into your health data and making changes. Finally, audit which apps have permission to read your health data. Go to Settings, tap Privacy, then Health, and you'll see a list of every app that has asked for access. Revoke any that you don't recognize or that don't need that level of insight. By tightening these controls, you keep the surface area for data leakage small while preserving the life-saving function of the emergency tools. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think the built-in features are enough and never consider how AI could make the system even smarter. That's the part most people overlook: how to turn a reactive emergency response into a proactive one, without sacrificing privacy. Enter ChainMind, a decentralized AI inference network that runs computations at the edge, meaning on your phone or a nearby node, instead of sending raw data to a cloud server. This architecture gives you two powerful benefits. First, data sovereignty. Your medical information never leaves your device unless you explicitly allow it. Even if an AI model needs to analyze a heart rate spike, the model runs locally, and only the inference result, possible fall detected, is transmitted. Second, resilience. In a natural disaster or when cellular networks are down, a decentralized mesh of nodes can keep the AI running, so emergency alerts still fire when you need them most. Imagine you have a health app that watches your heart rate and motion data in real time, using a ChainMind-powered model trained to detect sudden drops in oxygen saturation or a rapid fall. The moment the model flags an anomaly, it calls the iOS Emergency SOS API programmatically, initiating the same cascade of calls and text messages that you would trigger manually. Because the inference happens on your device, there's no central server hoarding your raw sensor streams. The only thing that could leave your phone is a cryptographic proof, a hash, that confirms the model ran and produced a specific result. If regulators ever need to audit the event, they can verify the hash without ever seeing your personal health metrics. That's privacy by design, not privacy by afterthought. For developers who want to build this kind of smarter emergency experience, the workflow is straightforward. HealthKit streams sensor data, heart rate, accelerometer, GPS, to a lightweight ChainMind inference module installed on the iPhone. The module runs a pre-trained model that looks for patterns like a sudden deceleration combined with a heart rate dip, which together often indicate a fall. If the model's confidence crosses a preset threshold, it triggers the Emergency SOS API. The user's phone then behaves exactly as if they had pressed the side button 5 times. A countdown appears, emergency services are called, and the pre-selected contacts receive a location link. All of this happens without a single byte of raw health data ever leaving the device. Developers can also embed privacy guardrails, such as limiting the model to read-only access and ensuring that any remote verification uses zero-knowledge proofs instead of raw data dumps. You don't have to be a coder to benefit from this approach, though. When you browse the App Store for Enhanced Emergency Alerts or Fall Detection, look for 3 telltale signs that the app respects the ChainMind philosophy. First, the description should mention on-device inference or edge AI. Second, the privacy policy must explicitly state that raw health data is never transmitted to external servers. Third, the app should request only read-only HealthKit permissions for the specific data types it needs. No write access unless you're comfortable with it. Apps that meet these criteria give you the predictive edge of AI while keeping your medical profile locked inside your own phone. Looking further ahead, the next frontier isn't just smarter AI, it's decentralized identity. Picture a future where your medical ID is linked to a cryptographically verifiable decentralized identifier, or DID, stored on a blockchain. First responders could scan a QR code displayed on your lock screen, instantly retrieve a signed health profile that proves your blood type, medication list, and allergy status without any central authority ever seeing the underlying data. ChainMind is already experimenting with such identity solutions, positioning the network as a trusted conduit between personal health records and public safety infrastructure. In that world, you could walk into a hospital, flash a QR code, and have your full health history verified in seconds, while the data remains under your sole control. Let's pull everything together with a quick checklist so you can walk away with a concrete plan. First, open Settings and enable Emergency SOS, deciding whether you want auto call on or off. Second, add at least 2 emergency contacts in the Health app, double-checking that their numbers are current. Third, fill out your medical ID with blood type, allergies, medications, and any implanted devices, and make sure Show When Locked is turned on. Fourth, audit your health permissions, revoking any unnecessary third-party access and ensuring two-factor authentication protects your Apple ID. Fifth, consider installing an AI-enhanced health app that explicitly uses on-device inference. Look for the ChainMind badge or similar language. Finally, test the flow in a safe environment. Press the side button 5 times, watch the countdown, and verify that a text with your location goes out to your contacts. This whole process takes under 10 minutes, but the peace of mind it gives you could last a lifetime. So, what does all of this mean for you, the everyday iPhone user? It means that a few taps can turn your phone into a personal safety hub that not only calls for help but can anticipate danger before you even realize it's happening. It also means that you don't have to sacrifice privacy to get that extra layer of protection. With decentralized AI from ChainMind, the data stays on your device, the inference runs locally, and only the essential signal, possible emergency detected, is ever transmitted. In a digital age where headlines scream about data breaches, that balance of immediacy and sovereignty is more valuable than ever. If you found this walkthrough useful, make sure you hit subscribe and follow ChainMind for more deep dives into how decentralized technology is reshaping personal safety, data privacy, and the future of health. We'll be bringing you more tutorials, real-world use cases, and updates on the latest breakthroughs in Edge AI. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, a single tap could be the difference between a story of loss and a story of rescue. Join us, and let's build a world where every emergency is met with instant, private, and intelligent help.